Well, I did it. I broke it. I knew it was gonna break. All right, I'm starting the clock. In my last video, I was talking about how I've been slightly let down by the Sony ZV-E1. This was my perfect camera, my dream camera, until it wasn't. No, it's a great camera, and as long as I adjust my workflow to work within what it's capable of, it's fantastic. I've just been trying some new things lately. I've got some new tools and things that I wanna use, like I talked about, using my iPad as a monitor. It's so nice. This is just a bigger screen. Sometimes if you have a teleprompter up, it's hard to see the little flippy screen. So being able to compose your shot with this, I have it just underneath. So right now I can make a quick look, make sure that my desk is lined up, that there's nothing weird in my shot. I love using it. But as I discovered, I had comboed shooting at 60 frames per second, which already makes the camera work very hard, as well as using this app, which I think is the real issue here. So what I'm doing today is I'm running at 24 frames per second, not something that I would usually do, and I have the app open. So I'm gonna see right now, we're a minute in already, if it'll overheat just from the Creator app, if this is the main culprit or if it has anything to do with the camera. So I believe I'm shooting in H.264. I think we're at about 100 megabits per second. Anyway, I thought this codec would be a good starting point. This will give me some answers. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna let this run out. I'm gonna see how long it takes it to overheat, if it overheats at all. If it makes it to 30 minutes, I'll be impressed. See, a lot of you were suggesting that I get myself the fan to keep the camera cool, which I get. You know, right now it's winter. This room is not warm. The camera was cold. Everything was cold when I started using it. So it'll be interesting to see if it overheats. It's annoying to kind of know that it's just gonna get hotter and hotter until it eventually turns itself off. It's a weird way to have to work and to have to shoot, knowing that there's a time limit. I'm getting to the point now with my channels that I don't wanna have that limitation. You know, that's kind of the point, is if I meet up and collaborate with another creator, I don't wanna have to say, oh, okay, let me open up all the doors on my camera to make sure that it can breathe so it doesn't overheat, because it may or may not overheat. I don't know. That's embarrassing. I know I'm being a little over dramatic here, but that's kind of what it feels like. You lose the faith a little bit. So who knows, maybe if this works at 24 frames per second and I can have this Creator app running the whole time and it looks fine, then maybe that's what I'll do until I eventually do the next step, which would be investing in a newer camera. Okay, so we're at about 5 minutes of recording time right now. I'm just gonna do a little bit of work while I'm waiting, and I will report back if and when it overheats, how long it took, and if it does or it doesn't, what I'm gonna do moving forward. You know, it's feeling a little warm back there, but not too bad. So far, so good. We're at almost 7 minutes, and when I did this at 4K 60 with the Creator app on, it was hot back there. So I'll let it keep going. Okay, it's starting to heat up now. We're at about 18 minutes, and it's getting that hot. It stayed from like 6 minutes to 15 minutes. It stayed warm. I thought maybe this is a sustainable shooting style, but I just think that this Creator app is gonna make that camera work a little bit harder, maybe a little too hard. See, my hesitation is that the app is gonna make the camera get so hot that a fan couldn't even keep it cool. But I'm thinking, based on how hot this is getting and how long it's taking, that a fan would be sufficient for this particular shooting mode using the Creator app. I'm not confident a fan would keep this camera cool enough at 4K 60 with the app. I'd like to try it. I don't think it would happen. If you have a fan, I would really love to hear you test it out 4K 60, maybe H.265 with the Creator app being run as the monitor. Oh, the camera's temperature has risen. Stop shooting if you're in shoot mode. What are we at? This can't be good for the camera if I keep overheating it, huh? Oh boy, 32 minutes. Stop shooting if you are in shoot mode. Do I just wait and let it die? Well, I did it. I broke it. I knew it was gonna break. The ZV-E1 could only handle 32 minutes at 4K 24 in H.264, running with the Creator app on the side as a monitor. That's not a lot of time. You know, the first half, it was keeping pretty warm. I thought it might be fine, but then I got the warning at around 30 minutes. So for those of you suggesting the fan, I do think that a fan would keep 4K 24 mode, no problem, shooting with the Creator app open like I've been. I think that would work. However, I think once you bump up to 30 and especially 60, if you're trying to record long form content in 4K 60 with the app running as a monitor, I don't think a fan's gonna keep that thing cool enough. I could be wrong. I'd love to test it out. I'm not gonna buy it because I don't know if I want to continue to invest in this camera when I would rather maybe just, well, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do just yet. But anyway, I'm trying to break this camera. I wanna really see what its limits are. And I think the limit is you can't sideload a bunch of things onto this. There's already so much power in this little body. Once you start adding things in, like I said, I got the microphone, I had the app running. I think the more things you try and power off it all at once, I hear if you're streaming to your computer, it just makes this thing overheat like crazy. So my takeaway is the ZV-E1 is a fantastic camera if you use it as it is, without attaching things to it or running the apps. I think you can get away with running 4K 20, 30, and 60 for reasonable lengths. But once you start adding in the Creator app, once you start plugging it in and using it as a streamer, I think it's not gonna last for very long. You can do it. I think the 30-minute threshold for 24 frames per second is long enough. I can usually do almost all of my talking head segments in that amount of time. And I might, if this video looks pretty good when I go edit it, I'm gonna really think hard about the 24 frames per second as my main moving forward because I just love having the monitor, the iPad as a monitor, so we'll see. So there we go. I don't know if you learned anything. I learned something about this camera. That's it for today, just a short, quick test. On to the next one. Okay, I'm gonna keep testing out 24 frames per second. When that video is ready, I will put it here. In case you missed my last video about the Sony ZV-E1 and how I'm falling out of love with it, not just for these overheating reasons, but for other reasons as well, check that out here. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time on the SAD Studio.